Friends, I am Dr. Kuldeep Mohadikar. In this video, I will be presenting my 17th chapter from my series Chapters from the History of English Literature, entitled as The Victorian Age and the Victorian Novels or Victorian Novelist. The age of Queen Victoria registered all-round prosperity of England. The Industrial Revolution brought out the prosperity and rise of the capitalist and the rise of the capitalist class. In foreign trade and commerce, also England occupied the highest position. Except for Crimean War, this period flourished. In sphere of science, far-reaching discoveries were made. Darwin published his Origin of Species. This publication gave a death blow to the religious dogmas as regarding genes. It was an age of democracy. All these tendencies in Victorian age are reflected in the literary product of the period. Industrialization brought quite few social and economic evils. It created economic exploitation of the working class, and thus the gap between capitalist class and the labor was very much widened, resulting in industrial unrest, or we can say industrial revolution. The scientific spirit of the age promoted analytical habit of mind. In addition, faith in well-meaning God was given a big shape. Hardy says, I quote, God is not in heaven and all is not right with the world. Man is puppet in the hands of destiny. The reign of Queen Victoria was the golden age of English novel. It was used as a popular medium for expressing rapid progress in commerce and science. The Victorian novel is the index of many sides, interest and conflicting elements of the Victorian age. It was an age of intense activities in commerce, industry and finance. Let us now examine the impact of the Industrial Revolution. The evils of the Industrial Revolution were vividly painted by such writers like Benjamin Disraeli, Charles Dickens, Mr. Gaskell, and faith in the missionary efforts of men like Kingsley. Now we will come to the first Victorian novelist, that is Benjamin Disraeli. The social novel was not assiduously cultivated by Benjamin Disraeli. His famous novel, Sibyl, is a powerful explosion of abuses connected with the relationships of capitalist and labor, and presented a terrible picture of life of contemporary working class as the background for the love affair of the young aristocratic Charles Ireman and Sibyl, the daughter of one of the traders of the Charlist movement. In the crowded novel, says Arnold Kittle, I quote, all England is represented, the aristocracy in both its effects and responsible aspects of the industrialist, the rural poor, the protectoral of several categories. I unquote. Then we will come to second novelist, Mrs. Gaskell. Similarly, the social problems of England found a passionate exponent in Mrs. Gaskell. In her famous novel, Mary Barton, North and South, she presents the industrial and social difficulties and struggle between the employers and the workers with great skill. She presents this picture from the viewpoint of workers. These novels give a realistic view of the hardships caused by industrial revolution to which the workers were exposed. Praising the novels, Arnold Kittle writes, I quote, as an accurate human picture of working class life in large industrial town in the 40s, Mary Barton is without rival among the novels of the time. Then we come to the third important novelist of Victorian era, that is Charles Dickens. The greatest champions of the weak, the outcast and the oppressed was Charles Dickens. He took upon himself the task of exposing the social and economic evils of the period. In nearly all his novels, there is an attack upon some legal or social evils. That is why Dickens is considered as a great social reformer of the Victorian age. In his novel Oliver Twist, Dickens expressed the miserable plight of the teenagers living in the workhouses, which presents a sordid picture. It is also a good example of his treatment of the deliberate attempts to direct public attention to the readers on the social injustice. The Pickwick Papers remains his greatest comic work, and his Hard Times is a satire on industrial revolution. Child labor is the most unhealthy condition was a matter of disgrace. The boarding schools were intended horrible picture of disgrace and misery. His pathetic power is exhibited at its best in the Old Curiosity Shop and Christmas Stories. Thus, Dickens in his novels gives a frank recital of the various evils and assumes the note of the social reformer and humanitarian approach to the various social problems. Then there was this important novelist in Victorian age, that is William Thackeray. Thackeray was another great novelist, essentially a social satirist and realist. He was more interested in expressing snobbery and affections. He was satirist who concentrated all his attention on the city of London and its snobbish circle. Thackeray says that it was a misfortune that the destiny of a great nation was entrusted to the care of man of small worth. I quote, "Irony is the keynote of Thackeray's attitude," I unquote, "for all these reasons." Thackeray's claims to greatness cannot be denied. He may not be a novelist of the first rank, but he certainly is one of the greatest novelists of the second rank. Then the last one that I will be highlighting here is Charles Kingsley. Kingsley was also an ardent social reformer who advocated humanitarian approach. His Alton Locke, East and 2 Years Ago are full of the unrest of their time and of the writer's passionate earnestness in the cause of the masses. Alton Locke is a propaganda novel describing the social situation. Its strength lies in its vivid picture of the wretched life of the laboring class in the middle of the 15th century. In his remarkable novel East, he shows his interest in the oppressed laboring class in the Proctorian movement. So this was all about my topic, the Victorian age and the Victorian novelist. Thanks from my side.